Tim Kirby Russia hot takes. So, you want to move to Russia? Let me explain to you how right now. Okay, so I guess I've got some good news. After all these years of making a ton of, different types of tourism and political, ideological, cultural videos and stuff connected with Russia, I'm starting to get a real steady stream of people who are asking me, Tim, how can I move to Russia? What do I need to do? How does this all work? Or they have some sort of plan to move to Russia and they ask me if it'll work or not. And that's really cool. Apparently, I haven't spent all these years doing nothing. So that's nice, first off, so thank you. And this video is for all the people out there who have that sort of general inquiry about how they can move to Russia. So let me try to explain that right now, really shortly. So in order to live in Russia, you need to have some sort of legal basis to provide that. And to spend your life in Russia, you need to have some sort of legal foothold, which would be a place in the migration quota. Okay, so let me explain. Every region of Russia, every state or province or whatever the hell you want to call them, it doesn't matter, has an immigration quota, and that quota is generally very small. It's a few thousand people per year can immigrate to that region, sort of regardless of whatever legal status they have or where they come from or something. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit like an American green card, but basically you don't need to do anything special, you just need to apply, and the top people who came first get it. However, from what I understand, that order of who comes first and who gets in the quota and who doesn't is not exactly the most transparent, open, and unbiased process. So some people have tried in the past to play that game, and I've never met one who succeeded. So the just come to Russia, apply for temporary residency, and hope to get it, no guys, that doesn't work. Now, you may have also heard about some other special programs. We'll talk about that. But one thing, the thing that is probably the most guaranteed, but there are no guarantees. Remember, this is another important thing. Any sort of program or status within Russia can only give you the opportunity to apply for some sort of residency permit or citizenship. It only guarantees you the chance to do it.
It only guarantees you the chance to do it.
There is literally nothing you can do to guarantee acquiring citizenship in Russia. Absolutely nothing. Now, what's the most reliable thing that you can do is get married to a Russian citizen. If you're married to a Russian citizen, you start living on the territory of Russia under some visa, you must very quickly, if there's anything you should do after the wedding, it's not physical contact with your new wife, pal. It is going from the Zags where you got married, taking those documents as soon as they're ready, and going to the Migration Services Department because you need to get started quick because very often the processing times for new temporary residency permits are 6 months. And guess what? Your visa might not be 6 months long, so you better get going. So getting married to a Russian citizen, which I really recommend doing on the territory of Russia because then you have a marriage certificate written in Russian from the Russian government. It's a much better way to do it. You don't have to do it that way, but gosh, is it more effective. So anyways, you get married to a Russian citizen. This essentially gives you a spot in the immigration quota. Well, they sort of put it over it. So you're sort of excluded from being part of this quota. It basically gives you the opportunity to apply, which is a good thing. This is by far the most reliable way to move to Russia. But some of you might be saying, well, that's awful, but Tim, I'm already married. You're an American, you're married to an American, or you already have kids, or you're in your 70s and you kind of just want to retire in Russia and you're not exactly pumped about getting back on the dating game in your 70s. So for you guys, sort of the only other real serious immigration option is the following. Now, there is this thing that's been getting a lot of excitement. It was a list of like 150 professions that they need in Russia that would sort of get you around the immigration quota. I think it's increased to maybe over 200. People get really excited about that. But guess what, guys? Applying for that is not easy. First off, about a fourth of the country in Russia works illegally. And if you're going to apply for any of the jobs that are, in that list, you have to have a white salary, as in a legal paid salary. What is it in America you get when you work? A 1099 every week or month or something? You need to be able to get that documentation. It's called a 2NDFL in Russian to be able to show that you actually work there. Some of the jobs require a salary of 88,000 rubles a month, which isn't a ton of money. Some are 166,000 rubles a month, which is a pretty decent salary for Russia, meaning there aren't a whole heck of a lot of jobs that will offer that. And furthermore, if you think that you are going to, from some foreign country, somehow easily find a job here, easily put together all these documents in English and send those to the migration services and just get citizenship. Oh, no. You are absolutely, if you're going to do this highly paid specialist thing, you are going to need a lot of help. And you're also going to have one hell of a time finding a job here. In the description of this video, there's going to be a link to the website of my buddy there. His name is Timur. He's an immigration lawyer. He has the full list of all those professions that could allow you to get around the migration quotas. And guess what? For a paid fee, he can help you. But make sure you told him that Tim sent you so you get a discount. Yeah, that's right. Things might be a little bit sweeter if you tell him that his buddy Tim sent you over. Now, there is one thing that I've heard. There's this new sort of plan where people are trying to set up like a business within Russia. So that way, through that business, they can actually hire themselves as part of the 150 plus special professions, highly qualified specialist a project. So essentially, you hire yourself, pay yourself a salary, and that will get you into the country. That is interesting, but there's a problem, guys. I've never seen it succeed once. I've been told that people are trying to do this, but I have 0 cases at this point in time to tell you that it actually works. That's something where you will absolutely have to consult an immigration lawyer, be it my buddy, be it someone else, to help you organize something like that, because doing it on your own, especially without like speaking Russian as a native language, is just going to be impossible for you. One thing I also have to remind you guys is that in some ways, Russia is kind of a paradox. Because, you know, in order to start living here, you need generally some sort of legal documentation or method to get your foot in the door to live here. But in order to do that, you kind of have to be here. And that's one of the hard things about being here in Russia. So if you've got the freedom and you got kind of nothing to lose, you might just want to try to get here on maybe like a student visa, which lasts for like a whole year and they're very easy to renew. Pay some university to teach you how to speak Russian, which would be to your benefit. Or on some tourist visas, like tourist visas from the United States allow people to live here for like, gosh, you can be here for like 3 whole years on one visa, and all you have to do is like leave for 1 day and come back after every 6 months. So certain countries have certain pretty friendly tourist visa regulations in terms of Russians. So you're going to have to look that up on your own because it's different for every country, and I can't go over all that right now. But it definitely helps to be here in order to start a life here. I know some people who are a married American couple. The husband just found a white salary job doing something unique, which maybe, I think it actually qualifies for the highly qualified specialist list. But he would have never found that online. He would have never, ever found that job in America. He only did it. He only got it because he knew a guy who hooked him up and this, that, and the other. So again, unfortunately, friends, you kind of have to be in Russia in order to move to Russia. And that's a hard paradox to solve. And I guess they solved it. So anyways, if at this point, you know, you could see, well, what are your options for starting a life in Russia? It is getting married to a Russian citizen. That is by far the easiest. If you can find any job in Russia that will give you a work visa, that at least allows you to be here for a while. If the job is on the highly qualified specialist list, then you need to work with an immigration lawyer because you'll fuck it up if you do it yourselves. I guarantee you. Work with an immigration lawyer, especially my buddy, but you don't have to use him, to make sure that everything is done right. All the, I's are dotted and short E's have a little line over them, the Russian style. And so that way everything works out and you will actually get excluded from that horrible, tiny migration quota, and you'll be able to have the opportunity to at least try to immigrate here. Okay, guys, so that is the pathway to Russia. I mean, when you're doing the actual immigration process, you're going to have to give a bunch of medical tests. You're going to have to pass a Russian test. It's extremely easy. The Russian legal test, not as easy, but I'm sure you can figure it out. It's online. You can just take it till you get used to it. You'll have to prove that you have some sort of income. You have to prove that you have no criminal background in your home country with an apostille on it. That's a little bit difficult. There's a bunch of stuff that you have to prove, but it all makes a lot of sense. You know, who wants to let a bunch of people who are broke with AIDS move to their country? So it kind of all makes sense. Now, at this point in the video, if you still have questions, you can book a consultation with your buddy Tim. Yes, although it's kind of hard to transfer money to Russia at this point, I offer paid consultations. If this video did not answer your questions about the general process of immigrating to Russia, talk to me. We'll have a private conversation. I'll give you an hour. You'll pay for it. And we will work out a plan of action. And hopefully everything will work out for you. Okay? Sound like a deal? I think it does. Anyways, Tim Kirby Russia, signing out. So anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you like the opinions coming out of my big fat mouth, then join up on my Telegram channel. That's Tim Kirby Hardcore on Telegram. Link, of course, in the description.